Morning guys, today we are just having a lazy stroll, walk around one of our favourite locations in the area. This is central Bedfordshire. We are at the home of at least, I'd say, 10,000 animals. We are at our favourite location animal wise in the UK, which is Whipsnade Zoo. It's the sister zoo to London Zoo. We visit there not so frequently. We have annual passes. We have a silver pass which gets us in. It doesn't give us the gold pass would give us a discount, 20% discount on merchandise, food, etc. We just went for the silver pass, which gives us just a general access, no discount. We don't need that. It helps to put feed towards the animals, etc. It means that we can come in here as many times as we want. This year already I think we're up to 4, possibly 5 times, and it's just a simple chill out pleasurable day. No stress, no trying to think of the topics in question that I'm actually introducing or exploring with you guys. So anyway, let's go and do this. Your beautiful chimpanzees there. You just about see him or her, I'm not sure which one that is, just at the back of the thicket there. It's morning time. They're probably hanging around waiting for some feed to go out. Usual bit of grazing, nuts, fruit, etc. A few vegetables. Then they'll probably have a dance off, climb around on the frame that's just there, chase each other around like absolute lunatics, and then go for a nap. A bit like us really. A little bit of gentle morning grooming going on. Picking ticks and bugs and that, and pretty much stroking each other's hair and having a feed out of it. Don't generally take a great deal of notice of these guys, just sort of briefly walk, talk and pass them by. But these are European bison. They're slightly smaller than what you'd see as a buffalo on the Great American Plains. These would have been through Africa, Europe, many centuries ago. Now pretty much left to inhabit zoos as much as anything else, because they've pretty much been wiped out. Apart from obviously on your African plains where they will be, their predators will mostly be probably crocodiles, to be honest with you, apart from lions, as they go to the watering hole. As I said, the buffaloes themselves in America on the plains were at least twice the size of that. And I believe in some places they've managed to introduce them. I don't know how, because I thought they were almost extinct, but it must be a lesser breed of the original. But they're very cowish in shape. It's just they've got that huge hump on their back, which is where they will store water for their long journeys. So apparently we are at humbug time of the year. Why humbugs? Because the little ballets over there, when they are born, they have a humbug colour to their coat. Obviously as they get older, they'll look a little bit like their mother and father, which is hinge and bracket, the larger boars over there, more darker charcoal in colour. But to start off life, to give themselves a little bit of camouflage, they've just got that little humbug effect to their coat. They usually jump around all over each other, have a little bit of a play fight. There is, like I suppose, dogs and cats, a run to the litter. It is generally this time of year that there is always a new litter about.
Yeah, she's taking it easy like that, so, you know, it's us when it gets
Now with the close proximity of the pens, usually you expect to see up there walking round. Because of the smell, I suppose it's like us smelling something that we really like to eat, enjoy, maybe candy, cake, bakery goods, even bacon, etc. Ironic as I'm talking about boilets. Here is the lynx pen, and usually with them being born, they will be able to smell them, and they'll be lingering around this area. There seems to be a gathering of people, so they'll probably be in a thicket over there. But these little points on the top here, they would usually just sit and look. Never be able to get to them, but I suppose they're dreaming of that little feast. So that's your European lynx there, sitting there under the bush. Sort of generally the size of a small Labrador. It's got a bobtail, just about to get up possibly and have a walk. Got a freckle complexion to itself, and it's just hiding away, I guess, because there is a plethora of people about in the zoo today, so maybe it's a bit sort of anxious and it's getting refuge there. As I said, close by the proximity of where the little boilets are.
It's a banging cat, isn't it? If you live in Dubai, you can own one.
Is that what you can have?
Yeah.
Coming out to stretch the old legs.
You can have one of them in your yard. Hey, that's cold though.
What's the name of that one, Elias? Lynx.
I wanted to see this.
They have been attracted by the attention of the keeper, who's throwing out probably offal chunks of meat which the cats will pretty much lick originally, and then they'll munch down on later.
See it?
They'll grab that and probably go back into the thicket with it. We'll go around the front area of the pen, but that's our first glimpse of a bear this year. Some of our old favourites, the galloping wolverines around there. Looks like they're about to chase each other around the paddock. That is possibly Puff there, or Fitty. We will predominantly know them as wolverines, but they're otherwise known as honey badgers. As you can see from their size, they are very similar to our badger, but one of those will take down a full-grown moose, even attack a bear. Okay, we believe that to be Cinderella over there. She was part of the 3 original bears here. Not Goldilocks and the 3 bears, of course, but there was Cinderella, Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. But tragic events have left us only with Cinderella until obviously today, because to my left there is a pen and I can see a young bear in there, so we will go and have a look in a minute. How do I know that Cinderella's a girl? Because her handbag is hanging there from the tree. Okay, we have 2 new bears here, having a bit of a kip. This is what bears generally do. They have a climbing frame, a little pool area. These 2, I guess at the moment, will be getting used to their new enclosure, their surroundings. Hello bear. And then they will join, they will have the ability to join Cinderella in the thicket to the side of us afterwards. But they look quite happy. Let's go and have a look from the side. So, these are our 2 new bears to the zoo.
Big teddy bears.
Look quite content. I don't think they're fully out of their hibernative state as yet. It is difficult to get the focus between the bars because the camera decides to focus on the bars as opposed to the bear in the background. But there's one of them. And there's the other one who was back to us.
He's looking now. Harvey.
Yes, mate.
No, it's all.
That was an automatic reaction. You sound like someone I work with as well.
Talking to Lucas back there, who I believe is one of the keepers for specifically the bears in general. It's not actually 3 bears, it's 4 bears. Cinderella is still at the back, still half asleep. They've got one of the new bears. They don't quite know all the names from yet. They have been given names, but you've got the 2 young bears there in the pen, getting used to their surroundings, and the one that I see walking around earlier, which you got a glimpse of, that is the 3rd of the new bears. So they're all going to get together, and so I just got interrupted by a massive wallaby that just bounced past me. And yeah, so soon, hopefully, they'll be introduced, they'll all be friendly, all amicable. They won't truly fight. They might face off, make themselves look big, but they do not want to generally have a punch up. So that is their stance as it stands. So really, really great news. These guys really do give you a bit of a fright if you're just standing there and they come out of the thicket and bounce along in front of you, because they are quite big. They are related to the kangaroos, but these are of course wallabies. And this area they seem to have claimed as their own. It's been, I wouldn't say neglected, left to fend for itself. We don't know what the pit originally was for. No one's ever turned around and told us that. But these guys now call it home. And they are free to roam all around the park as and when they do. They are quite cute. They have been known to just bounce around, get around the boundary areas, and people will generally sort of have that, oh my god, I've just seen a wallaby in the road. Well, that's because they've come from here. You got nothing to worry about me, guys. I'm just filming you. You can wave to the camera if you want. Show us a Joey if you've got one. I think it's got every need they have there. It's got water supply, you've got your shrubberies, and it's a protective fence to keep out. There will be predators around here, foxes, etc. But let's leave them be. Well, weather-wise today is not exactly brilliant for what I was going to try and show you, as we are on the side perimeter fence area of the zoo itself, as we are actually quite high up here in Whipsnade itself and the zoo area. The problem is it's very, very hazy out the back there, but what I'll try and explain to you is what is going on in that direction. These would have been old pens used by the zoo many, many decades ago, but that's besides the point. The reason for being here and looking out is the vicinity of where we are now. We are based, Milton Keynes is probably over that way. I know it's very, very hazy, foggy, etc. If I pan round, you might just see the church there. Now to the left, that area where you can see white, that area over there, that's known at the back there as Ivanhoe. Now there is a film set there currently. If any of you remember the Wizard of Oz, they are currently in the making of the musical Wicked. Now it's Ariana Grande, I'm not sure who the other lady is, the main characters. They're playing the witches of the East and the West, and this is basically how they become the witches that led on to be the film Wizard of Oz itself, with Dorothy, Toto, etc., Tin Man, Lion and the Scarecrow. And that is right there. If you go to, from my knowledge of what it is, if you go onto Google Maps, go to a place called Ford End, you've got a little bridge that you've just come over. To the right of that bridge, you've got an area called Ivanhoe Turf. They sort of lay turf down for, I don't know, sort of stately homes, etc. They've been going for absolute decades. But there, it's a privately owned area, and that is where the film set is. And the sound stage is above ground level, so they've actually put a lot of scaffolding up. They've built two areas. One area is a castle, and the other area itself is Munchkinland. If you ever went on the Great Movie Ride and got into Munchkinland, and you went through and they've done The Witch is Dead, etc., and then the witch shows up at the end, it is virtually an exact replica of that. So fascinating for all you fans out there. People have actually done drone footage over the top, and if you look at the drone footage and you see the people dancing and one lady going up a set of steps, that is actually Ariana Grande. I know, full of fascinating information, but it's just something that at times, it's just a shame it's just so foggy. It's not cloudy at all, it's just a fog that maybe it'll lift and maybe I'll get a better view later. You can see it from the train. I'm just gutted that I can't focus in. I'll give it a go to the general area, because you see cranes and you see the floodlights on top of the cranes, similar to what you get at a football match, that sort of floodlight, just to make it like day when it's at night. But it's something that a lot of people have shown an interest in at the moment, because it's relevant to timeline and things going on in the general world. Yeah, I think we'll get back to the animals, because that's not really showing a great deal. It's a shame, but it's out there. As I can see a red kite circling round below. But let's go back to the animals, that's what we're here for. Amanda come and say hello. Obviously the kid's chasing the wallabies. He will bounce along in next to no time. They certainly have some speed about them, that's for sure. But he or she knows that we know and mean them no harm, so they will continue. That truly does not do it justice, but I can see an outline of scaffolding, but it's just too distant. If that haze was to lift, you'd see the colour and you'd see the general outline. Now you're just like, oh well, I could be looking at anything. Second only in size and stature to probably the largest of the animals here at Whipsnade. These are your white rhinos. Basically your black rhinos are a little bit smaller in stature, although they're built like a battle tank. But these guys are obviously big and bulky, and as I said, only second in stature to the one and only elephants. They seem to have formed battle squares, because I believe all those laying there are girls, and this guy over here, where are you? He's a ball and he's a bit of a pain. He just chases them all around everywhere. This little baby Nandy with her mum chilling out. I think even as a little baby Nandy there was a good 20-25 stone. Now probably coming up to half a ton. The baby otters, Peanut and Pistachio, have got a lot bigger now, a lot more confident. But it looks like sleepy time for them at the moment.
What are these? These are otters. You see the little otters?
So Tigger appears to be asleep. Bit of fidgeting going on there. There's two of the brothers. There's one there and one with his head just sticking out over the log. So I reckon the other one's around somewhere. It's supposed to be three. I know it's Dimitri, Tsar. I'm not sure the name of the other one. Someone's getting ready to get up. The bugs are agitating him. His eyes open. Can't sleep like that, surely.
Two tigers hit. It's even better from a height. Even better.
It's like the tiger that came to tea. Remember these guys, then they were tiny little cubs. Barely the size of an actual domestic cat, hiding behind the logs. Looks like our elephant herd is having work done to their paddock, so that will mean there'll be more of their sandpit enclosure that they'll be congregating in, so we're going to have a look at them now. So the little sand paddock over here is more like a holding pen. It's not where they would normally inhabit. It's just somewhere that keeps them out of the way, safe, while having work going on. They used to have a walk that every 2 o'clock in the afternoon they would go out, trunk holding towel and a big jumbo express line, and walk around the park, but that was pre-pandemic days. Since then they haven't done anything like that. It would be nice to see it one day return.
See the baby?
There's little baby Nang there. She will be with her mum, which is Donna, who is one of our favourite elephants. And then there is Karishma, Kaylee, Maya.
Look at the baby.
Of all I think of the herd now, I think there may be 6, 7 females and 1 bull elephant, which is usually, he's very confined. He keeps himself to himself and usually to the enclosure to the left, but apart from seeing him out in a paddock where there will be a barrier, a fence, until they're integrated with each other, he spends a lot of his time alone. But this is very much a matriarch type thing. They're all classed as either mothers and aunties. What they're doing with that bark over there, they'll get basically the branches, they'll snap them, they'll strip it, they'll eat the whole lot, to be honest with you. And at the back there, you use techniques to encourage them to use their trunk. So you've got a straw bale up in the net. Usually you have barrels, large balls to sort of push around. This shows you the close proximity that the train will get to you when it goes round on its loop.
I ain't got my phone.
Right, we shall leave our big friends be and go and see some other animals. Not sure, but there's a possibility that that one's got a little Joey. One of the little bundles of fur, otherwise known as a red panda, sitting up there in a tree. They're extremely good climbers. If daintiness and elegance is your thing, you need look no further than a giraffe. The way they walk as if they're walking in a pair of killer heels. Very elegant, very graceful. But when they go, they can pick up some real speed and get a good gallop going. Some say they've got as many bones in their neck as the human has in his entire body, but that is a complete myth. I think there's only something like 9 possibly. This is all cartilage. Proper height perspective for you there. They start off as youngsters, probably as tall as maybe 6-7 foot. These will reach 14, possibly 16 feet. Very majestic. No elegance right there, though, is there? And that tiny little one, or not so tiny anymore, at the back there, sitting by the fence, that is baby Wilfred. There you go, folks. Right there is baby Wilfred. He was born, I believe, around... was it Remembrance Sunday? He's something to do with a poet in the Second World War, so they named him Wilfred. But yeah, October into November last year he was born and made his debut, but he's been very nervous and kept himself away, tucked up against the corrugated fencing inside their enclosure with his mum very close by. But he's got himself together, come out and met his public.
That one looks like a girl. That one. Wow. They're so amazing.
And this appears to be the whole family coming out to say hello.
Yeah, they're sitting down. Yeah, they got very long necks.
I've mentioned in previous vlogs about the bluebells in woods, etc. They're starting to come to fruition now, and probably by the time we do our vlog next weekend, which should be up in the woods where I'm looking for a nice house and tell the story of a lost boy on the Ashridge estate, these should be fully flourished and quite a good view. Nothing wrong with having Mickey Mouse ears. It appears to be sleepy time for our friends the dogs. Of course, this used to be the wolf enclosure many years ago, and they used to bring down a little sound box that would introduce the call of the wolf, and they'd all stand on the top of that mound and howl. I've done a vlog, there is in a very early video I done. You've got the wolves standing there all howling together. But they obviously got old and they moved on, and these guys have replaced them. Originally they were all born in London Zoo, and there's a pen that was on this side of the canal. I think there was maybe as many as 10 pups, and I believe 7 of them reside here now. I think mostly all male, and they just spend the time chilling around here and in the woods at the back there. They'll hang up meat, etc. from the trees and branches. They go out foraging for them out there, and I've actually taught them to come and retrieve food from these pens over here. The keepers will stand the other side, put some food down, give them a signal, they'll come up, grab the food, and then come scurrying their way back here. But in the meantime, it's sleepy time. Beautiful colouring. As it says, big Mickey ears. Trying to work out a way to get down the pen, possibly jump down, but no, it's safer to walk around the back. No, back for a lie down.
What is that sign for? What's that sign for?
You can hear a woodpecker in the woods to the side of us. Yeah, it looks a bit out of the way now, doesn't it? We thought we'd come and have another look, but at full tilt it's just not showing it. But that's your film set at the background, as I said. Worth a try. Okay guys, that's going to do it for today's vlog. I hope you've enjoyed it. You enjoyed it?
I have, yes.
Yep, we've seen plenty of new animal friends about today. The new bears, there's now 4 as opposed to there was 1 for a small period of time. So we're looking forward to watching them grow together as a family. And if you've enjoyed this content, there is other animal vlogs I've done throughout the history of doing vlogging myself. You'll find loads of it. If it's not your thing, there's plenty of other stuff to look at. I know animal things can be a bit sort of controversial, so enjoy the content that I put out for what it is. And with that guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We have another exploration coming up next week I'm looking into doing. something to do with a lost boy in the woods that come over here, and he was kept as a pet, so a bit strange. Anyhow, enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you in the movies. Bye for now. You lost? Where are you going?